It's a lot. Look at my kitchen. Okay, look at my kitchen. My kitchen is an absolute mess. You see this over here? I got like so many condiments out. I got like 10 million avocados. Wait, is that showing? Okay. Like 10 million avocados that aren't ripe yet. My parchment paper. I got all my ingredients. We got our 2 trays. Oh, we're gonna be making 100 dumplings today. 100 dumplings. Let's go. Okay, now I gotta adjust my camera again. It's gonna be fine. Okay. I think we're back. Yes. But anyway, yeah, because I'm going to a winter solstice party today. So, let's start by making tea, and then after that, once we mix the chicken together with the spices, Toby's not gonna want it after that because I'll contaminate it. So then I can let her out of jail. But she's in jail until further notice. So I've got my green tea here. Here, let me show you. That's what it looks like. Oh, here, zoom in. Come on. Show them the good. Why is it not zooming in? Whatever, it's fine. It's green tea. Special kind. Unfortunately, I can't read, but I think it was picked by hand because this is sho, which means hand, but it's green tea. So we're gonna pack our tea strainer and fill up our tea. That'll be our first step. Gotta make sure we've got our caffeine insured. And because this has like such a light flavor, I like putting a lot of it in. It really depends on the kind of tea you get. You gotta just kind of test it out and try it out. Normally I would never put this much tea in, but for some reason it has a very, very light and mild flavor. I wonder if it's roasted. But it's like very small, tiny little leaves. This is like the good shit. This is like the kind that is picked by virgin hands. I bet that's what it says on here. Picked by virgin hands. Anyway. Don't ask me what that means. Don't ask me what virgin hands means. That's just how they do it. It's just how they do it. Why does that matter? I don't know, but I've heard that before, like for dramatic effect. For dramatic effect, that's why I say it. My husband says it all the time too. Anyways, let's make dumplings, shall we? You guys might be wondering. You might be, wanting to implore me, am I hungover this morning? And the answer to that question is no, I'm not. I'm not hungover. Nope. Mostly because I chugged a bunch of water before going to bed. I always make sure I go to bed sober. I always make sure I go. If anything, I will always make sure I go to bed sober because I will not let alcohol ruin my sleep. The audacity to think it could do that. No, I'm in charge here. No, I mostly have the illusion that I'm in charge, but we try and be as much in charge as we can be. Yeah, I like to indulge every now and again, but I also like to do it on my own terms. I like to, because everything's a trade-off, right? Everything's a trade-off in life. And it depends on what kind of trade-offs you want to make. So when you engage, when you imbibe in certain substances, you are making a trade-off in your mind. And you're saying, okay, I'm okay with these consequences. I'll deal with these consequences later. Some things have more consequences, some things have less. And that's your decision. That's your decision what kind of consequences you want to deal with. As long as you're in control. If you're not in control, then that kind of sucks. If you're not in control, then I don't know. Okay, so we got our chicken in here. We're making a double batch. So I think each one of these has, I think it has like 50 dumplings in it. It doesn't actually say the number, but it's 100. It's 100 dumplings. That's what it is. So we've got our chicken, and of course we washed our hands off. Don't worry. We're gonna add 2 eggs. There's my other egg. 2 eggs. I always like getting the brown kind. I don't know if it makes it any more special, but it feels special. Have you guys ever gotten the blue eggs before? You can get blue eggs. Those are fun. They're like $12. They're like $12 at the store. Insane amount of money. And they're basically like, I don't know, brown eggs, kind of. I would say is in terms of like having a darker yolk. So they're not blue on the inside. They're just regular, but they're blue on the outside. It's very fascinating. I don't know what causes that to happen. But when I saw them at the store for the first time, I was absolutely amazed. Okay. So now let me look up my recipe really quick. So we are making butter chicken dumplings. I didn't change my overlay. You know what? I'm gonna completely delete the blackboard section of the overlay because the fact that I have to change it every time, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon curry powder, 1 teaspoon, just 1 teaspoon of a bunch of different spices. So I'll be adding that to here. Blue? Fake. No, they're real. They're real. They're naturally blue. It's crazy. Yeah, it's really cool. I don't remember what process causes that, but okay, so I like doing kind of a heaping teaspoon. So I like spices. And it's not baking, so it's not like it's precise or anything. It doesn't have to be precise. No, I don't. Sorry, I bought the blue eggs before, but I don't have them today because I didn't want to spend $12 on eggs. I know, shame on me, right? I was like, I do not have money for that. Okay. 1 teaspoon of paprika. Oh, I didn't get my paprika out. 1 second. Oh, also I have to sneeze. Okay, so we don't have paprika. Dang it. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's gonna be fine. How do I not have paprika? What? I'm so I cleaned out my spice cabinet the other day. Maybe I like misplaced it. That's not possible. Oh no. What am I gonna do? To replace the paprika flavor. That's so crucial and so important. I have red pepper, but that's a bit spicier than just paprika. You know, it's a little bit spicier. Not that I'm afraid of spiciness, of course. I'm not afraid. But also, yeah. Okay, let me look it up. Okay, so it doesn't ask for. The recipe doesn't actually ask for any chili powder, but I'm gonna add some to kind of replace paprika, and it'll be fine. You like spicy, but you're bad at it. You're bad at spicy. What do you mean? Okay. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of red pepper powder instead of the 2 teaspoons it calls for. Okay, we also need 1 teaspoon of turmeric. And by that I mean 2 teaspoons because we're doubling it. You can't handle it? Do you mean like you can't handle your spice or something? Oh dear, we are out of all of our spices. That's okay. That's a lot of turmeric. Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna use the rest of my turmeric. Here we go. There. Pour it in. And get the rest of that sucker out. Out you come. Come on, I know there's more in there. It's hard to eat spicy. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I like spicy, but I don't like it if it interferes with the flavor. Like if I can't taste what I'm eating, then I don't. Then it's too much, in my opinion. I'm like, I still want to taste my food. Okay, maybe we're going to put in some garlic powder to remedy something. I don't know. The fact that we don't have paprika. I know that garlic is not the same as paprika, but whatever, it's fine. Flavor. And then it also does not call for salt, but I will be adding salt to this because how dare they not add salt in the recipe? It needs salt, obviously. It's because, so this, I'm combining this recipe with a recipe I have for butter chicken sauce, and the sauce kind of compensates for the lack of salt in the dumplings, but I suspect that people are just going to reach for the dumplings and eat them by themselves. So, they'd be kind of not good if they don't have any salt. Okay, we're gonna add that much. All right, I think that's everything. Here we go. We're gonna mix it all together, and then we can finally release the Toby out of jail. Can release her. Oh no, I got it on my finger. Ew, gross. I got it on my finger, now my finger's slimy. Let's go wash our hands again for the 10 millionth time today. Don't you love it when you're cooking and you have to wash your hands 10 million times? Anyways, I hope everybody's having a good day today. I certainly am. It's gloomy today. The weather is very gloomy. And I suspect that a lot of people's seasonal depression these days is getting pretty bad. Mostly because this whole week has been like cloudy and gloomy. Sorry, one second. I'm gonna turn down this music so I don't have to hear it. I'm not a huge fan of the copyright-free music, but it is what it is. As long as we've got something playing in the background, you know what I mean? As long as we're not just sitting here in silence and staring at each other. Because that would not be good. No, we must prevent the possibility of a thought occurring. Do I suffer, what do I suffer from? Suffer in silence? Personally, I don't have a problem with silence, and especially with a close friend. Oh, yes. We're reframing it. Joseph, we're reframing. We're saying, no, we're not depressed. We are just hibernating. We are withdrawing into our cave and resting. So we're gaslighting ourselves. We don't have seasonal depression. No. But no, I think I do experience it, but I've been trying to take vitamin D a lot, vitamin D supplements to kind of help with that. Withdrawing into your wait, what is a yoni? Hi, Eris. Namaste. Yes. Welcome and namaste to you, my friend. We're making 100 dumplings today. It's awesome. But yes, I am not a doctor, but talk to your doctor about vitamin D supplements. So we separated out the chicken into two different bowls. I'm gonna put this one in the fridge because it's gonna take forever to make these dumplings, right? And so I want it to not have like a very irrational, well, I was gonna say irrational, but I'd say rational fear of foodborne illness. So I never leave anything out for more than 2 hours. Okay, let's release Toby from the jail, shall we? We're gonna release her from her prison, which is a giant room, by the way. Here, come on out. All right, come on out. I've contaminated the chicken, so you're not gonna want any. You don't want any of this. She's gonna immediately lose interest. She's coming over here anyway, though. But yeah, she's gonna immediately. Hi there. Would you like to come make dumplings? Come here. Come here. She was literally like trying to sit on my tray earlier. I was like, you are contaminating everything. Here she comes. Yep, you're gonna step on the tray, aren't you? Yeah, you are gonna just do everything you're not supposed to. Yep, there you go with your shit dirty paws. The paws she literally uses to bury her own shit. She just stepped on my freaking tray. 1 million dumplings. Hi, Galti. It's going good. It's going good. We're making 100 dumplings today. We're just starting. We just barely finished making our filling, and now we're going to start wrapping them. So, I'll show you my expert wrapping techniques. Expert techniques, really. For the holidays, yeah, I'm going to a winter solstice party today. It's going to be awesome. It's with my church. I'm going to ask them how I can submit my mycelium brick. I don't know. I think they said to mail it, but I'm like, well, can't I just deliver it in person? Hand deliver my mycelium. If this is a dumpling, what is a full-size dump? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Have you ever seen those giant soup dumplings? So these are actually Shanghai style dumpling wrappers, and they make these dumplings called xiaolongbao, which are like a soup dumpling. But in Shanghai, they've got kind of touristy thing. They've got this giant soup dumpling that's this big, and it literally, they poke a straw into it so you can sip out the soup. I actually prefer that over the actual soup dumplings, because when you eat those, the soup is like scalding hot, so you're literally burning your esophagus when you eat it, and I personally did not like to burn my esophagus. That's just me. What the frickety frick? You know what? I lied. We might be hungover. That's fine. We're hungover. That's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I love gaslighting myself into like, no, we don't have seasonal depression. No, we're not hungover. No. Listen. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Take care of yourselves. But if you indulge, that's okay too. If we indulge every once in a while, that's all right. If we experience lows every once in a while, that's all right. It's all okay here. and there's no judgment whatsoever on this channel because I may not look like it, but I've experienced a lot of what life has to offer. Okay, we got our water bowl here. So now we put our filling inside. This might end up being too much, I'm not sure, but we take our finger and we go around the outside. And I'm gonna end up doing this a lot faster, obviously, with the other dumplings. You cover the outside like this, and then you start pinching it and pulling it together. This, oh, here, I'll show you. Pinching it across. Oh, this is good. Oh, yes, okay. Sometimes the wrappers are kind of dry when I get them from the store and they like crumble and crack, but this one's good. Okay. And then this is the most professional technique, right? You paying attention? You take it and you squeeze it all together. Oh shit, and you get some a little bit on the outside. That's okay. That's gonna go over there. You squeeze it a little bit like this. And then, look! Oh my God, we did it. Okay, and then sometimes you can use your fingers like this to make it a little bit more round. And it's a little package, and we're gonna place that nicely right there. And we do that 100 more times. So buckle up, lock in, sit down. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna be here for a very long time. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Eris. Sorry I wasn't able to stay for your stream for too long, but I hope your stream went well yesterday. Sorry you're feeling tired. But also congratulations on finishing your semester. That's awesome. Sounds like you were you had a huge load, course load. So, glad that's done at least. Did you guys know that in Belgium, Refly was telling me this, in Belgium, their semester doesn't end until January. So it extends through the holidays. They don't end their semester during the holidays, before the holidays. So they have to worry about the semester during the holidays. That's crazy. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, that's what it is, apparently. Taking loads for money is my specialty. Eris, I have a suspicion. Can I tell you my suspicion? I suspect that you were the one who gifted me that sub yesterday. The eat my own ass. I suspect that might have been you. And I thank you for that. You don't have to confirm or deny, obviously. What you do with your money is your business. We will not judge. Not judge you here. That is not what we're doing. So, I'm gonna just yeet. And we hope it doesn't explode out the sides. But, if it does that, then that's fine too. It is what it is. You don't know what you're oh, okay, sorry. Okay. Galti's looking closely. Anyways, how's everybody's Friday going? Mine's going pretty good. I was feeling a huge boost of energy. Chozo is never going to let me live that down, are you? I'm telling you, I haven't gotten the money yet. I will tell you the second I got the money. I'll tell you. I think I'd hide that from you. No, I would never. And plus, if you look at my Robinhood account, you'll notice all the stocks I've ever bought have gone down by 70%. So you think I deserve that money? Absolutely not. Yeah. I always make bad financial decisions when it comes to Robinhood. But, it is what it is. But yeah, we will be donating if I ever see a penny of that money, which I'm not sure. Yeah, you better check yourself, Choza. Hi, Eclecte, welcome. Oh my God, congratulations. Congratulations on your ego death, Eclecte. How you doing, my friend? Last night was fun. Last night was really fun. I had a good time. Although towards the end, I was losing the ability to form sentences, so we ended stream. All right. Just kind of, I'm sure there's a more official technique than to just kind of like press it together, but I don't know. I'm self-taught, all right? We're self-taught dumpling rappers. Unfortunately, I haven't learned the secret techniques from my mother-in-law yet. She hasn't taught me. She probably would be able to teach me though. Dumplings are looking delicious. How has it been making them? Yeah, I love making dumplings, especially this kind. I like the circular ones. So I was watching a video the other day about how our hands are so sophisticated, right? And we need to always be, the reason why we like scrolling so much and we like those repetitive motions so much is because our hands are so sophisticated and we don't have anything to do with them. All we're doing these days is we're typing like this and we're scrolling like this. That's all we're using our hands for. So I challenge you to do something with your hands this weekend. You don't have to tell me what it is. Do whatever you want, but do something with your hands. Something that allows you to move your hands and utilize their full intelligence and capabilities. But yeah, so I particularly love making dumplings with my hands. I love, I played piano at one point. I didn't love doing that. I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not like playing piano. I don't think I'll pick that up again. But making dumplings is fun. Cooking is fun. Making Legos is fun. Did I show you guys my giant Lego thing? We're building, I don't know what it is. Perhaps no, it's not a Star Destroyer, but it's something. I shouldn't touch my camera with my hands. Okay, let me wash my hands and I'll show you. I'm gonna show you guys my Star Wars Star Destroyer giant Lego set. Okay, you ready? You ready? It's almost done. Okay, can you see it? There it is. Look at this. I'm holding the camera with one hand. Oh shit, I just broke it. That's fine, that's gonna go back on there. Fuck, I can't do it with one hand. There. So these are the engines, and then this is the ship over here. And we're almost done. We only have like 3 more. It came in that giant box over there. And we're gonna put the engines on the ship. It's taken us many days to do. So I love Legos. So yeah, it's been fun. Does pressing buttons count for number 2? Oh, let me read the earlier comments. 3 hobbies. 1 that activates your brain, 1 that moves your hands, and 1 that moves your body. Yes, I love that. I love that. You always say it to everyone around you. Excellent. Salty says, my kid pulled my Lego Rivendell off the shelf and I have yet to rebuild. Oh, that's awesome. Lego Rivendell. Does it have like Lego waterfalls and stuff? That's cool. So it's like the elves' abodes. That place is magical. When I watched Lord of the Rings for the first time, I was like, I would like to live in Rivendell and forget about all my problems. I would love to live there forever. If it means becoming a vegetarian, then it means becoming a vegetarian. I think elves are vegetarians. I think there was like, what was it? It was like an episode of The Rings of Power or something. that showed they were vegetarians, or that they just eat a lot of salads. Personally, I don't really love salads. I don't like eating them. They're not very pleasurable to eat, and I prefer that my food is pleasurable. So we'll get there eventually. Right now, I'm at the point where I just sneak vegetables into my food. I trick myself. I gaslight myself. I trick myself. I hide little pieces of carrots and like little pieces of mushroom. Yeah, they eat, what is that, limbus bread? They eat that too. Yeah. I always wanted to try that when I was a kid too. Hi, Bunny. Welcome. Hello. We're making dumplings. Sit back, relax, as I make 100 dumplings at a very slow pace. We're a little bit slow. That's okay. I've got all afternoon. I'll be here. I will be here. I know, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm doubling the recipe. So we can have 50 for home, 50 for the party. And when I tell you they're gonna be gone by the end of the week, they will be gone by the end. They'll be gone by the end of the weekend. Yeah, my husband can eat a lot of dumplings. He's very much a dumpling enjoyer. Which is no surprise because he's Chinese American. So, but these are not Chinese dumplings. These are a fusion. They're Indian spices with chicken and a dumpling. So Chinese dumplings are typically made with pork, not really ever chicken. So they got pork, and then they put like green onions, sesame oil, sometimes vinegar, garlic, ginger, sometimes ginger. But these are with like cumin, curry powder, a little bit of garlic powder, turmeric, fusion dumplings. Never had a dumpling before. You've never had a dumpling before, Bunny? That's crazy. No way. Well, I'll share some with you later. After the stream is over, I'll send you guys all some dumplings. On your way. Sounds good. Yeah, I would definitely, so like if for people who've never had dumplings before, I would start with a xiaolongbao, like a Shanghai style soup dumpling. That's like super basic. All they put in there is pork and like a little bit of pork fat to make the soup. And that's it. They don't add any really seasonings or anything. It's just the flavor of the pork. So I guess it's not halal. So if you're halal, then if you're halal, you would have a difficult time in most places of China. Not everywhere though, because there's plenty of Muslims in China actually. They just tend to be, well, they're not the majority. Majority are Han Chinese, and the majority of culture and restaurants are mostly. I got to be careful with my wording here. Are Han Chinese, but if you go to certain cities, you can definitely find some fantastic Muslim food. I went to a city right outside. So the place where I lived was in Ningxia, which Ningxia is actually, the full title is Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. So the Hui people are a Muslim ethnic group in China. And so it's like a special autonomous region dedicated to that specific ethnic group. I think I said that twice, but in two different ways. Anyway, there's like a smaller city outside, like inside the province we went to. We got to enjoy some really good halal food, halal Chinese food. They eat a lot of lamb. Yeah, lamb is halal. Well, as long as it's prepared correctly. And it was really good. It was like We had like a lamb soup and some rice and like some really good stir-fried vegetables. And yeah, I love, I mean, I could yap about this forever, but I love the diversity you can find in China. And I love especially the culture of the Muslims. And there's many different Muslim ethnic groups. I mean, you got so the Hui are kind of like, I would say, it's like a generalization. I mean, it's not surprising that the administration does that. They're just like, here, we'll lump all the Muslims together. Just without speaking too much about politics, but that's just kind of a general term for smaller ethnic group in China who happens to be Muslim. But there's also people in Xinjiang, and a lot of the time, actually, in the major cities of China, you'll find Chinese people dancing to music from Xinjiang, which sounds and they'll like wear traditional clothing as well. Like Han Chinese people will dress in clothing from people from Xinjiang. Sometimes they'll be joined by people from Xinjiang as well, and they'll dance to the music. Yeah, which sounds very Turkic, like it's from Turkey almost. And the language as well, they have their own languages, which also sound similar to Turkish, I would say, or like, yeah. So it's really cool. Thank you for oh, yes. Sorry, my camera, it took me like 10 million years to place my camera. So, but I'm glad you can see it somewhat. Yeah. I was like, what should I show with my camera? So some of them are going to explode around the top, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. They're kind of ugly, but whatever. Like, as long as it tastes good, you know what I mean? And that's all that matters. What's up, Beijing? Oh, did that work or not? Did that sound alert work? It did? Oh, okay, good. I can't hear anything from my computer. I'm glad it works for you guys. We're on a different setup today, that's why. So we're going back to the basics. Thanks for letting me know. Refly said, we like exploding tops. Oh yeah, we like exploding tops here on this channel. I'm glad you like hearing about it, Eclecte, because I like yapping about it. I like yapping about it, so if you like hearing about it, great. If anybody ever has any questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, my ultimate vocation that I would love to have is be a diplomat. In an ideal world, I would like to be a diplomat for US and China relations. But unfortunately, that kind of opportunity does not exist in the way I want it to be. Unfortunately, unbiased diplomats do not work in government. They usually work in nonprofits. But unfortunately, nonprofits in the United States are not in a very good position. So, what is my favorite dumpling? This is my favorite dumpling, the one that I make. But I would say, yeah, I would say the one I keep saying, the xiaolongbao, the soup dumpling. If you can get it from somewhere else, that's my favorite one, because it's just really simple. Okay, I keep adding too much. I think that's why it keeps exploding out. It keeps exploding out of the top. I love this because it's kind of like fall colors, very orangey, very orange. I might stand up at some point. Actually, I am gonna stand up now. My legs are a little bit tired. Well, it's not really because I'm hungry. It's just because I'm in a hurry mostly. So I need to slow down. I'm like, if I add more filling, that means I'll be done faster. No, that's not what you should do. You should take your time. Slowly, slowly. That's what I always say. I always say that to my students. I say slowly, slowly. Because they try and read entire words like just by guessing. We do flashcards in the ESL classes, and my students think they're so smart. They think they can just like guess what it is. I'm like, that's not what we're doing here. We're learning how to read. You don't read by memorizing words. You read by sounding out the words, and then you memorize. That's like advanced level reading, is when you have one glance at something and know what it is. That's later down the line. So I tell them slowly, slowly. We're just removing some of the filling that exploded out. There we go. There, that's good. This one's also exploding. Close. So the way it's actually supposed to close is it's supposed to form like a little circle pattern around the outside. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to close that. They cannot pronounce. Well, Refly, you make a good point. I mean, that's kind of like, that's how it is for non-English speakers, and especially people who don't know how to read or write in their own language. Right? Everything is just completely foreign. It's a completely foreign system of symbols that they're not used to. And so even the concept of sounding something out is also insanely challenging. The problem is that people, they're adults, right? And so they want to be taken seriously, and they want to feel smart. And they are smart. It's just hard. It's hard that they didn't ever get the opportunity to learn how to read and write, because of where they came from, because of the political situation of their country, because they just didn't have the opportunities, mostly for reasons that aren't their fault. So, like, just add on top of everything the difficulty of not being able to understand symbols, just compounds. Yeah, it's pretty much just to hold the filling. Wrappers are easy to make too. Oh, you've made the wrappers before? That's cool. I know my mother-in-law can make the wrappers. I'm just lazy, so I like to get them from I got these from Chinatown. Oh my god, I'm literally getting it all over my freaking hands. It's also a sensory nightmare, but that's okay. We're gonna breathe. We take deep breaths. When we begin to have a sensory nightmare, we take deep breaths and we say, you know what, it's gonna be okay. We were blessed. As humans, we were blessed with insane sophistication in our ability to sense our environment. But you know what? That also comes with downsides, and the downsides are that we constantly perceive everything. Constantly perceiving all the time. God. Perceiving wetness, coldness, variation in textures, and sometimes it's unpleasant. Sometimes it's a little bit unpleasant, sometimes it's just too much. We can't handle our senses constantly being assaulted all at once. Oh, that's a pretty good one. That one's pretty good. I like that one. That one's nice. Anyways, you guys doing anything fun this weekend? Got any fun plans? What am I doing this weekend? Mostly just tonight. Tonight's the event. And then after that, all the holiday parties are over. All the holiday parties will be finished. So many textures in making dumplings too, but it's so worth it. Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. And I don't know, sometimes having a sensory nightmare is worth it for the moment that it ends. Like, I remember the last time I went on a hike, which was a sensory nightmare, because it was cold, my legs started to itch. Do you guys ever get the itchy legs? Oh, the itchy legs. Where it feels like 10 million mosquito bites on your legs. I got that. And, things were brushing against my legs. And, yeah, it was a lot. And it was also physically demanding and challenging. But then, when we got back to the car and when I got home and I showered, oh, it was so blissful. It was so blissful. It was an amazing moment where I was able to be free from suffering for a minute. And I appreciated being clean. I appreciated being in an environment where I wasn't constantly having things brushing against my legs. I was glad to have my muscles not itching like crazy. And it's good. It was good. What event? Refly. So I'm going to. Oh no, we celebrate Christmas Eve. I meant like all the community stuff. Like I'm gonna be going to my parents' house for Christmas Eve, and Christmas, hanging out with them for that. I just meant like all my Salt Lake engagements are finished. I think I'm actually gonna be that's a lie. I'm gonna be hosting a party at my house, post holidays, for my friends. They're gonna be coming over. I'm not sure what we're gonna be doing, but we're gonna be doing something. The collector said my holiday's on Sunday, so you're preparing for that. I see. That's when you're celebrating. Nice. Or which holiday are you celebrating, if I may ask? Okay, we're gonna continue to fill this. Refly, it's actually pretty traditional, pretty. If you've ever seen like I don't know, a Christmas movie from America. I don't know, we have roast beef, we have like ham, we have I think like mashed potatoes. We got all the stuff. Unfortunately, this is gonna be the first Christmas without my grandma, but we're still having it at my grandma's house for my grandpa who still lives there. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Oh, okay. So you're celebrating the winter solstice as well. That's cool. I don't really know what to expect for tonight, Eclecte, because I'm going to an apothecary, and we're gonna be around a bunch of spiritual people who like the winter solstice, and I don't know anything that comes with that. So I'm gonna be introduced to the cultural event. I think there's gonna be music. There's gonna be a fire, like a bonfire, which I'm personally not a huge fan of fires. But that's just me. Speaking of fire, I got this really cool new candle. That's got a wood wick. Have you guys ever used a wood wick candle? Holy shit! Oh my god, that is like the element of fire. It's like cracking and hissing at you as it's coming up. It makes its presence known. That is a fire candle if I've ever seen one. That's a fire element representation if I've ever seen one. God damn. Sunday kicks off my 12 days of duels, so it'll also be a fun week to be had. That's exciting. Are you doing any like fun streams for that? Woodwicks are your favorite. Yeah, I was not. I'd never used one before until when I bought it, and I was very surprised. I was not used to it, but I like it. It commands the whole space, you know? It makes its presence known. It does not allow for any other sensory experience to be had. And that's nice sometimes. That's nice for my weekly Sunday ritual, especially when I'm feeling a little bit less able to drop into a meditative state. Sorry, one second. Because it helps cancel out all the noise, all the other noise. So it provides a nice, like, white noise, right? Okay, good. Keep wrapping these. How many do we have so far? We got a lot. I'll count them in a second. Once I finish this package, I'm gonna count them all. We'll see. If there's 50, then that means we are doing 100. Honestly, just a bunch of your normal stuff planned. Reading, baking, crafting, and educational stuff, but Yule themed. Wow, that should sound fun. If anybody's interested in that, they should go check out your channel. Highly recommend. Bruh, I feel like I've had the wind kicked out of me. What the hell? What is happening? It's okay. You know what? I signed up for that. I made my bed and now I need to lie in it. That's what I say. Whenever you choose to use a substance, you are making a trade-off, and you have to be okay. You gotta be okay with the consequences. I always find that when I imbibe an alcohol, the next day, even if I'm not hungover per se, I'm still feeling like zapped of energy. And you know, that's because we borrowed energy from the next day. You're borrowing from your future self. And sometimes you feel like that's justified. I felt like I was justified. Last night I was like, you know what? I want to have fun time. I want to let loose. I want to play my game. I want to talk to people without having some of the background noise of my thoughts. And yep, the trade-off was worth it. But, you know, now my future self, which is my today self, has to deal with those consequences. Some people obviously would prefer never to make those kind of trade-offs, and I don't blame them. But also, if you do decide to make those trade-offs, I don't judge you, because I do that. As long as you are making that choice, as long as you are making that determination, and you're not letting something make the choice for you, I think that you need to be able to make your own choices. If you lose the ability to make your own choices, then we have a problem. Yeah, borrowing energy. Yep, borrowing energy. Yep, and depending on how much you want, that's how much you borrow. Depending on how much you want to imbibe, that's how much you borrow. That's all it is. It's that simple, really. It doesn't need to be made any more dramatic than that. I have plenty of friends in my life who choose to borrow a lot. They choose to borrow a lot from their future self. Sometimes I wonder if it's my responsibility to interfere. And I never know what the right answer is, because it seems like they are making choices that they are okay with. And it's their choice. And yeah, they have to live with the consequences. It's not up to me to make that choice for them. So, you were happy to see my second stream yesterday. It was a pleasant surprise once. Oh, thank you. Yeah, the second stream was definitely a lot more fun than the first, in my opinion. And so, to me, it was worth the trade-off. Right, we're almost done. We're almost done with our first package. That was actually pretty fast. If we have enough time, we might end up going on to make the sauce and everything too. We'll see. We'll see what my energy levels are feeling like at that point. I think after I finish this first round, I'm gonna sit and enjoy some tea. We'll do some yapping, and then we'll continue on with round 2 afterwards. Yeah, but I do wish that people would be less judgmental against each other. I of course come from a family and an upbringing where choosing to imbibe in certain substances is seen as a huge weakness. It's seen as a huge weakness and a sin, frankly. And the answer they would always give would be like, I want to be in control of my own mind. I love it when people give that answer. When I ask like, oh, when they say they don't drink or they don't imbibe in various substances, they're like, I want to be in control of my own mind. And listen, I'm not making fun of people who have that answer. That's a valid answer. But sometimes I feel like it's kind of copied from other people. No, we do not make fun of people who have that answer. That's a very valid answer. And honestly, I admire you. If you choose to not engage in anything, good for you. I'm happy for you. But sometimes it does give the air of condescension. Like, oh, those who do choose to imbibe are somehow weak or reckless, careless, reckless. And I'm not sure if I agree with that. But that's just my own personal belief. Again, we would never encourage people to do anything. Eclectic said, it's a gray area, really, having to navigate. You speak with your friends regarding what they put their energy into. I'm a firm believer in, like, your tribe reflects to you. So sometimes if they're really going off the wall, it's nice to say something. I usually do. Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, I've had friends come to me before who definitely are taking a lot from their future selves. And they've come to me and said, hey, I really want, I would really like to stop drinking. I don't know if I can. Well, they don't say they don't know if they can, but sometimes I doubt whether they can. And I'm not sure what the best answer to give them is. I'm not sure what to do in that case. But I think the days of glorifying and romanticizing substance use are over. I don't think that's good in any capacity. But when I tell you, you have not seen substance abuse until you've seen lawyers. Boy. Yeah. Yep, lawyers. So my husband's space, unfortunately, has a lot of substance use and abuse. Unfortunately, I feel like people use it to cope with their very stressful job. Eclectic says, I see a difference in enjoying yourself and harming yourself, so I only get involved if need be. For sure, there's definitely a difference in enjoying yourself and harming yourself, for sure. Well, there's also a difference between being in control and letting something else control you. Being in control and letting something else control you. You can still be in control. And that's important. I would say trying to be in control is important. Be in control of your choices and the outcomes, and being aware of the outcomes and the trade-offs you're making when you make certain choices. And if you want to say fuck the consequences, then that's what you want to say, and that's the choice you made. But as long as you decided that, then okay. All right, we are almost, oh, this is the last one. Okay, look at this. We're at the very last one. I have a lot of trauma formed due to substance abuse from the people around me. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's definitely a very tricky subject. And I don't blame anybody for not wanting to engage in the conversation around that. And if you need to step out, feel free. But I think it's an important conversation to have. I think it's important that we talk about these things because, like, yeah, if you don't talk about it, then you don't know. Okay, so how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Oh, 39. It's 50. It's 50. 50. We're making 100. It's fine. We're not making 80. No. We're making 100. That looks like 50 on camera, right? Just don't count them. We're just extending the truth a little. We're extending the truth. Okay, I'm gonna come down and yap for a second while I drink my tea. Let me just put my thing away. Let me put my little dumplings away in the freezer. We're gonna put these in the freezer. So I'll be right back and then we'll continue the conversation. I would love to address your comments. I'll be right back.
asparagus.
I see why you did that. Well, that's okay. I was saying, bruh. I was reading your comment and saying that I understand where you're coming from. And I mostly agree. Yeah, I mostly agree. In a perfect world, in a most ideal version of myself, I would not need, and I would not want to use any substances. Yeah, I wouldn't need them. And, however, I reiterate that it's, hello, Flossy, how's it going? Flossy, we're cooking today. We're making dumplings. All right, shall we transition the conversation? Let us transition. What should we talk about? I don't know. I haven't prepared any other topics. I haven't prepared any topics, actually. Your 2-week holiday started. Nice. Nice. You gonna... How are you going to enjoy your time off? You're gonna watch a lot of streams. So today we are having green tea. Yeah. Green tea in my shitty cup that has its paint being removed, which is probably a huge hazard. But you know, it's coming off in chips. As long as we don't drink any of the paint chips, we'll be fine, right? Orange asked, how many shoes do you own? That is an interesting question. I own probably roughly 5 pairs, 5 or 6. But the actual shoes I use when I go outside are like 1 pair of shoes. And it's Skechers. Yeah, super basic. Ones that I don't have to tie my shoes. Oh, my days of tying shoes are over. No, I am not going to tie shoes. Absolutely not. I have 1 pair of exercise shoes that I use sometimes that do have laces, but I usually just actually slip them on. So, and then I have got like the ones I have multiple pairs of are like my party shoes. I do not own any heels. Nope, that's not for me. I don't like heels. I'm already 5'11", so why would I need, I'm already basically 6 feet tall. I don't need heels. Then I would just be like towering over everybody. Some women like that. Some women like that, but that's not for me. It doesn't match my my vibe. My vibe is not one of towering over people. It's more of a 5'11" is tall. It's not too tall. It's 180 centimeters for you Europeans. 180 centimeters. Okay, we're cutting our other dumpling wrappers. I'm gonna take them off. Take them out. But yeah, Orange, I hope you're having a good morning this morning. Good morning. It was so fun to have our little conversation last night. Yeah, last night was fun. Eclectic said, Flossy said, everyone in my school is like 6 feet. Well, that's cool. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think Europeans tend to be larger overall. I don't know. I'm just pulling that out of my ass. I have no idea. But Orange said, it's 7 a.m. Oh yes, it's already your weekend on Saturday. Happy Saturday. Pondering what to do with the rest of your day. Ooh. What should you do? That is a good thing to ponder. The best use of your time. I'm trying to get my cord out of the way. My cord is like Okay, so we're cutting our parchment paper so that it's the right size. Go through here. Oh crap, there's like a little, that pisses me off. Okay, no, it's fine. See, look, it sticks, it completely covers the bottom. It's okay. Okay, we're gonna cut this off. It is summer, yes, I've heard that it's like 100 degrees outside these days, which is insane. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but like probably 40 degrees Celsius, perhaps? Am I in the right ballpark? I was gonna say 30, but I think 30 is like room temperature-ish. I have no idea. I have no concept of Celsius. Because I'm a filthy imperialist. Filthy imperialist! Here's this. Room temperature is 20 degrees Celsius. Ooh. Okay. 40 degrees Celsius is like crazy, right? But it's possible, right? It's possible to reach 40 degrees Celsius outside, right? Oh, okay. 100, thank you. 105 degrees. Yeah, that was the temperature that it was in Chongqing when I visited during the summer. It was insane. Hi, Matrick. Welcome. We're making dumplings. Orange said, the first thought was, I bought too many mushrooms. You can never have too many mushrooms. Okay, for the pizza. So now I need to make a dish with them before going to see my mom over Christmas. Thank you, Metric. What kind of mushrooms are there? I'm assuming they're gonna be like just regular mushrooms, right? I don't know how to cook regular mushrooms, really. I never use them. Because I'm a mushroom, what's the word? Like when you have your nose turned up. I'm a mushroom snob. Thank you for the assistance. I'm a mushroom snob. Let's see, how could you cook regular mushrooms? You could, they're always good if you cook them in like butter. Butter and garlic is my go-to. I love cooking some mushrooms and some butter and garlic, like fresh garlic. Yeah. But usually on their own, it's kind of, you could throw them in a soup of some kind. Oh, or put it in lasagna. Yeah, that's a good idea. Every time I make something with ground beef or ground meat, except for this time, but most of the times I will chop up mushrooms very small and then mix it in, and you can't even tell there's mushrooms in it. I made red sauce pasta with chopped up, I think it was oyster mushrooms and ground meat. And what I did is I just put the oyster mushrooms in the pan first with some butter, let them kind of absorb the butter. And then I added the meat and I mixed it with the meat. And then it was like twice as much meat, basically. That's what it felt like. Yeah, orange, that's a great idea. Eclecte said, garlic butter is my go-to. It makes everything taste delicious. Yes, garlic and butter. Okay, we're gonna continue with our dumplings, shall we? Let's continue. Okay. So we already did 50. 50 is the number that I'm saying we did. And yep, just don't question it. I would never lie to my audience about the number. It was 39. It was 39, but you know what, whatever. 50. If you round up, not even if you round up. If you, basically 50. Like I said, I haven't touched an oyster since becoming an adult. The idea of slurping on a live creature ruins my day. Ooh, I do not like oysters. I do not like oysters. No. Every single food poisoning. Oh, sorry, Orange, you asked the question. Well, I'm sorry, I'm giving my honest opinion. But I hope if you like oysters, that's okay too. But I've always heard about people getting food poisoning, and it's from oysters usually, and it's like the worst food poisoning of their life. So unfortunately, I do not like oysters, but if you like them, that's cool. Very fancy of you. Anyway, sorry for hating on your food that you like. Didn't mean it. It's okay, I'm allowed to have opinions, right? If you see a professional do it, they'll do it really fast. Oh, okay, you don't like them either. Well, then that's okay. I thought I was over here shitting on your favorite food. And then I would have felt a little bit bad. Yeah, I think I've only had oysters once. And it was at the top of the Seattle Space Needle. That was crazy. Way too expensive. Don't do it. Really gimmicky. Making these things look easy. Well, yeah, try it out for yourself. It's really fun. It's fun to make something with your hand. But there we go. Oh, these ones are so much prettier than the other ones. Orange said, I was forced to eat one as a kid in front of my family and I threw it back up instantly. Dear, that sounds like a very traumatic memory. I'm sorry. What? You were forced. Like, I dare you to eat it. I dare you to eat it. Oh boy. That was not very nice of them. I feel like my family would do the exact same thing though. My family would make me do that for sure. My family would always make me, like, force me to go on the scary rides at, like, amusement parks. Even though I really didn't want to go. They'd force me to go anyway. Like, come on, it's not that bad. Don't be a coward. I'd be, like, crying the whole way. Yeah, good times. Good times. Memories, am I right? It would go so wrong. No, Matrick, I'm sure it'd be fine. It would be fine. If you ever do make dumplings, I want you to post a picture in the Discord and show me what they look like. And I will not judge your dumpling making abilities. I will congratulate you for trying. The tea break makes a huge difference. I gotta reset for a moment. These dumplings look like a perfect 1-to-1 ratio. Oh yeah, I'm glad. It might derail, but for now, they're looking pretty good. And these are the ones I'm gonna take to the party. The other ones we'll keep at home. These are the ones that we're gonna take. Oops. So just as we were talking about how perfect they were, now this one exploded out of the top. That's okay. That's all right. It's fine. Oh, it turned out pretty anyway. Yes, Eclecte is a master dumpling maker. Orange. What is that? There's like something orange in here. What is that? What is that? Ew, what is that? Maybe it's unmixed. I think it's unmixed seasoning. Yeah, it's unmixed. Don't worry. We haven't contaminated our... You've also made dessert dumplings too. That's interesting. Wow. What kind of fillings does dessert dumplings have in them? I want to know. Here's a question I have for you guys. So these days I've been feeling like the older I get, the more I feel like I change over time. Like my personality has fundamentally changed in many ways. And I think that I would much rather have somebody say to me, wow, you've changed a lot, than, wow, you haven't changed at all. Now, let me ask you this. What would you prefer somebody say to you? Does it depend on the person? Would you rather people from your past tell you, wow, you've changed a lot? Or, oh, you haven't changed at all? I think if people were to tell me, you haven't changed at all, I would feel really upset. I'd feel really sad. I'd be like, oh, dang. I guess I haven't grown at all. Oof. Orange said, down here I sometimes make dessert called golden syrup dumplings. What? That sounds magical. That sounds magical, Orange. Orange, you should do a cooking stream and show us how to make dumplings like that. That sounds awesome. So Eclecte puts chocolate, pistachio, or red bean. Oh, red bean is good. It's kind of an acquired taste, in my opinion. I didn't like red bean at first, but now that I've been exposed to it several times, I don't mind it. But it's difficult to get used to. It's difficult to get used to the idea of a bean being a sweet thing, you know? Unless you were born in Asia. If you were born in Asia, then you were used to that, but I was not used to that. Right. There we go. Worm says they'd say changed. Oh, you'd rather say you've changed. You'd rather they say that. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'd rather people say that I've changed. And you know what? If you look back on your past life, if you look on your past self, and you look with a little bit of regret, which don't live life with regrets, by the way, you shouldn't do that. But if you do, I mean, it happens. If you do feel a little bit of regret or a little bit of like, okay, regret's not the right word. A little bit of cringe. That's the word. If you look back on your past self and you cringe, like a lot, that's a good thing. That means you've changed in a good way. That means that your current self has grown from your past self. So it's okay to think back about past moments in your life and past interactions with people and cringe really hard. But don't regret any of your past actions. Instead, just look at them in a reflective way and say, wow, I'm glad I've come so far. But I'm also glad that I have that as a point of reference so I can look back and appreciate how far I've come. Flexi said, I'd rather people compliment me by saying I've changed a lot. Yeah. Also, I have changed a lot. Most people can't understand how my personality and mindset has changed so much. I honestly, I love that. Honestly, I love the idea of changing like an insane amount. I would honestly love for the people in my past that I've discontinued relationships with, or they just kind of, naturally over time faded away. I would love for them to not recognize me at all. That's what I would love. I would love to have them look upon me and not recognize me one bit. Red bean grows on you if you give it multiple tries. Yeah, you have to give it multiple tries. Yeah, the first time you try, you might not love it, but yeah, you just gotta get used to it. It's kind of like coffee, like I don't know, like coffee, all these like adult things, like foods and everything. It just takes some getting used to. Once you do, you can end up loving it. It's all about that acquired taste. Refly said, that's normal. Perspective changes when you get older. It's actually a positive thing. Yeah, for sure. Imagine keeping your mindset of when you were 6. Yeah, I mean, I was referring even to like my mindset when I was 25. My mindset when I was 25, and now my mindset when I'm 27. I would love to be almost unrecognizable from my 25-year-old self. I try not to come at it in a point of hating myself, because I don't hate my old self. Well, okay, that's a lie. I'll be honest, sometimes I do feel hatred towards my past self, and I don't think you should do that, though. I'll be honest, but also I don't want people to make the same mistake that I did. Don't look at your past self with disgust. Instead, look at them with compassion. Oh yeah, I'm taking these ones to the party. We are taking these bad boys to that party. Old Tay would tear New Tay apart. Oh, that's interesting. I've had to discontinue relationships due to them not wanting to get to know who I am now, rather than boxing me into who I was before. Changing is complicated because it really shows who you are meant to be in your circle. Yup. Oh my God, literally. I have a best friend, unfortunately, who's going through a lot of this. She's having to end a lot of relationships with people in her life because they expect her to never change. And they don't want to embrace her new self. They want to always hold her to the same standard of who she was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, etc. And she's letting those people go. And honestly, I think that's a good decision. Sometimes you have to let people go in your life because they hold you back. If they're holding you back from growth, let them go. Friends come and go in your life. The only person you, with an absolute certainty, will always have your back is you. And so you want to make sure that you become your authentic self, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Okay, I'm going to grab my tea with my hands like this so I don't contaminate the edges of my tea. Here we go. No contamination here. Practicing real food handling techniques. Hey, I had my food handler's permit for a really long time, so yeah. Official food handling techniques. Nothing but the best on this channel. Sometimes that's hard to swallow. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes it's really hard to swallow that people don't want to see you change, or that people just can't. They have a version of you in their mind, and they can't get with the times. And that's too bad. That's too bad, because they're missing out. But that's okay, because you'll find new people. I've had plenty of people come and go in my life. Whole friend groups leave me, the drop of the hat. Just like instant leaving. You know, I've had friends that just, you know, we just don't share the same vision for what our friendship is supposed to be, and I've let them go. But I've also met, even just recently, so many special and wonderful people. I'm so glad to know. Yeah, including you guys. I'm glad to have met you guys as well. You know, it's not always the same. It's never going to be the same. The relationship between a streamer and viewers, but I will say that you guys have definitely influenced me a lot. As limited as that may be, because, you know, it's crazy. Like, you think about it, I don't know what most of you look like. I don't know what I mean, I know what Eclectic looks like because she's a streamer. I know what the streamers look like, but most of my viewers, I have no idea what you look like. Never seen your face. I don't know what your real name is. That's not me asking you to dox yourself, but it's just saying, like, even though that part is limited, I still feel like I get a little glimpse of all of your personalities, and that's special. So thanks for letting me in on that. No matter how small the engagement is, it's still important. Let's see. Orange said, what was the best age so far? For you, it's 8. What? That's crazy. 8 was all fun and no responsibility. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right. Wow, interesting. Eclectic said 25-year-old me is much different than 28-year-old me. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of tend to agree with Eclectic. I don't think I've reached my best age. Well, I'd say that every age is my best age yet. Let's say, like, right now, I'm at my best age. I know some 50-year-olds who say they're the best age of their life. I've seen some 80-year-olds who've said that. I met somebody on Sunday who, I asked him how he was doing, and he said, today's the best day of my life. And he didn't really mean it in the sense of, like, today's amazing. He meant it in the sense of, today's the only day. Today's the only day that matters. And so therefore and I'm alive. So today is the best day of my life. And I think that was really profound. I think it was awesome. It's like, wow, I'm glad to share that with you. Your best day. I'm glad to share the best day with you. All right, here we go. Get that all good. The collector said 8 was full of trauma for me. So as much as I'd like to say a younger year, I can't. Yeah, everybody has different experiences for sure. Surprisingly, my family members are my biggest enemies. They refuse to accept who I am now and claiming I'm faking my change. I only smile. I mean, this is not a happy smile. Yeah. I mean, I don't know everything you're going through, but I can relate a little bit. I know a little bit how you feel. Yes. I've always been told throughout my life that different things I do are just my phases. She's just going through a phase. They said that about when I was like super into my K-pop stuff. They're like, oh, she's going through a K-pop phase. It's just a phase of her interest in like Asian culture and whatever. Okay. If I pan the camera over there, you'll see my. Wait, I will actually. I'll pan the camera over so you can see. That's me on the Great Wall of China. Anyway, yeah, just a phase. Yeah, just a phase, right? Or like with my whole like new age type thing. It's my mushroom phase. She's going through a mushroom phase right now. Kind of like when I left, I'll be blunt with you. When I left the LDS religion, the response was, oh, she'll be back. Everybody's always treats it. They're like, oh, she'll be back. And it's unfortunate because, yeah, my family won't ever see the emotional change and growth I've been through, and how I feel like I'm so much more complete now than I ever was when I was part of the church. But in their minds, this is just a phase. This is just a phase I'm going through until I return to the correct way of thinking and doing things. So yeah, I can understand a little bit. But yeah, it sounds like you've had quite the journey. Exactly, Orange. Yeah, it seems like you've had quite the journey, Eclipse. You have your food handler's card. Nice. Love it. We love having our food handler's card. Food handler's permit. Yeah, I remember getting that when I got my first job at Arby's, which is like a fast food. It's basically like McDonald's, except they do like roast beef sandwiches. And I got my food handler's permit at 16, I think. Not sure how I made it this far, and in my younger years, I didn't imagine I'd ever make it past a certain age. My path always felt unknown, but I'm navigating in a better direction now. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's good. Yeah. You don't always have to know exactly where you're going, but as long as you're happy with the direction you're going in, that's good. Orange only. I only have a few food eater card. That's valid too. That's okay. Like I said, it's fun making connections and having meaningful conversations, even with its people that you have no clue who they are or what they look like. I think somewhere in my 30s will be the best of my life. To negative people, everything will always be a phase. Yeah. And that's their fault for refusing to try and understand. That's their fault for being closed-minded. That's their fault. They're missing out. Orange says, how long is this K-pop Asia obsession thing going to last before you come back to Earth like us regular folk? Well, I will share what my dad shared with me when I began dating my husband. And it was, he asked me, he was like, why can't you ever date a white man? He said that. He did. He said that. Why can't you just date a white guy? It wasn't that oh my God. It wasn't that I was discriminating against anybody. But he just could not handle it. Didn't like the idea of change. My parents' warning to me when I got married to my husband, they sat my husband down when he asked for my hand in marriage from my dad. And my parents said, they warned him, they were like, this is going to be the hardest thing you've ever gone through. Marriage is the hardest thing you will ever deal with. And also, it's going to be made 10 times harder because you have cultural differences. And part of it was because they're trying to, steer him away from... But I will say it is actually true. There was a bit of truth to what they were saying. Having a multicultural relationship is very challenging. And I won't sugarcoat that. That is very... Yep. Sometimes we are like fire and ice. Fire and ice. And it's all about trade-offs, right? It's what you choose. What do you want? Personally, I think it's kind of fun. Personally, I don't mind the, just craziness. But also, learning so much from each other and, challenging each other all the time. That's what it is. It's a huge challenge. Especially when you both come from different worlds, different ways of understanding, different ways of knowing. And so they were right that it was going to be really hard, and it is really hard. But what they failed to address was that it's really rewarding too. So I wouldn't trade anything for the experience I have. Sometimes it's really difficult though. Yeah. Sometimes it's really, really difficult. Perhaps more difficult than, yep, definitely more difficult than other relationships. If I were to have a relationship with somebody more similar to me, but I wouldn't change it. Collective said, my family will never see who I am today and who I've become because they don't want to, and it's unfortunate, but it's their loss. Yeah, it is their loss. Raising Cane's was your first job. That's awesome. I like Raising Cane's. Do you feel like after you work there, you're never able to eat there again? That's how I felt about Arby's. Once I worked there, I was like, I'm never eating here again. I've seen the curtain's been pulled back. I've seen what goes on here, and I don't like it. I know too much. I know too much. Yeah, somebody literally dropped a sandwich in the wrapping. Luckily, they dropped a sandwich on the ground, and then proceeded to hand it out to a customer. So there's that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw what the meat looked like. You know, like before it was cut and everything, and when it was cold. And it just isn't. It's just not for me. But your dad literally said the same thing to you. Oh wow, interesting. It's crazy how similar we are. Haven't eaten there since. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We were forced to serve rotten chicken because they didn't order enough batches, and the ones we used were tampered with. From then on, I never ate there. Yep. That doesn't surprise me at all. Things like that happen, and you just gotta. If you want to eat at places like that, you gotta deal with a little bit of ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. Once you work for one of those companies, then you can no longer have the blissful ignorance. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Anyway, yeah, fire and ice. Fire and ice. Yeah, I think every relationship is hard. And I guess the only frame of reference I have is my own. So, not very blissful to get sick from there. Okay, that's true, Dom. Hi, Dom. Welcome back. How are you? How are you doing this morning? Good morning. We're talking about... Okay, so Dom, I asked a question earlier, and the question was, would you rather people from your past, say, wow, you've changed so much? Or would you rather have them say, you haven't changed at all? I've been saying, and everybody else has kind of been saying, we prefer people to say, wow, you've changed so much, instead of, you haven't changed a bit. I prefer to have people say that I've changed. Whether that be good or bad, I mean, honestly, either way, as long as I'm different. I prefer it to be good, though. I prefer it to be a compliment, but sometimes even if it isn't a compliment, it still tells you something. If they don't mean it as a compliment, maybe it shows you that they weren't the right person for you anyway, and you moved on from them, and that's a good thing. So either way, it's a good thing. It's insightful. It's insightful. Okay. I only learned what Raising Cane's is from a streamer here last week. At first, I thought they were talking about something biblical. That's funny. Yeah, Raising Cane's, I guess, is just an American thing. Yeah, and it's pretty recent. Like, I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty recent company, right? Like, I feel like in the past 10 years is when it's become really popular. Maybe even the past 5 years, it's become really popular here, especially during the pandemic, I feel like, too. Dom says, I don't have a strong preference, to be honest, though I suppose I try hard to change myself. Ah, I see. So what you're saying to me is you don't care too much about what other people think about you. Is that true? If so, I commend you. I want to be at that stage. I do want to be at the stage where I don't care as much about what other people think about me. You know, that's the ideal. The ideal is to be unaffected by people's opinions, but unfortunately, I'm unlearning a lot of things because I grew up a huge people pleaser. I grew up a people pleaser, so that was my personality. And so it'll take me a while to not care about other people's perceptions of me. Dom says, most of the time I do have social anxiety. Oh, social anxiety is a bitch, dude. I hate that. Yeah, social anxiety is a bitch. I don't know why, but I always get social anxiety the worst when I'm in like a small group of people or when I'm meeting somebody for the first time. And usually it's like somebody of importance. But I'll even get it when I'm with some of my friends and in a group that's greater than 3. 3 is like the best ratio. Like 2 other people and me. Or 1, actually, okay, most ideal is 1-on-1. I like having 1-on-1 gatherings with my friends. I like inviting my friends over for tea at my house. Because it's on my own turf, you know? So I've got my nice home environment, not an unfamiliar environment. And then B, I like just one-on-one interaction and engagement because I feel like I can actually get to know people and like have actual deep conversations with them. In some ways, streaming is a lot like a one-on-one conversation, surprisingly enough. If you really think about it, the reason why I hate having conversations with a group of people is because everybody's always talking the fuck over each other. I hate that. I hate it when people are always interrupting each other and you have to literally fight to get your voice heard. But here I get to just talk whatever and there's no interruptions. No, I'm just kidding. Kind of is like that though. I get to just yap without being interrupted. That's my selfish desire. I'm a little bit selfish where I would like to be able to talk without being interrupted. Because if I ever have to be in a situation where I talk with being interrupted, I won't talk. I'll just sit in silence and let everybody else talk and just listen. So I'd feel like I don't even share anything. Let's see. Dom also said, in terms of trying to get other people to think I've changed, I feel like I've run out of energy for that. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Because some people just don't want to accept that. And that's, Dom, we were talking about that earlier. About how sometimes some people just don't want to see it. They don't want to see how you've changed, and you don't need to waste your energy on getting them to understand. You know, you don't need to waste your energy. So I get that. Anyway, Eclectic said, I'm a massive people pleaser, but it's been hard to come out of it. I pass as an extrovert, but I'm introverted and have a ton of anxiety. Oh, I see. You pass as an extrovert. But secretly, you're an introvert. I almost, it's interesting. I almost feel the opposite. I would like to be an extrovert. I would personally prefer to be an extrovert. And I feel like I am at heart. I want to be with the people. I want to be among the people. I want to be part of the people. I want to connect to all the people. But when it actually comes to people seeing my demeanor, you think I'm talking like this in outside conversations? No, absolutely not. I don't talk like this. I usually am quiet and, well, obviously my face doesn't really change. I'm not a very expressive person. So my external appearance very much conveys introversion and even distaste for other people, which is really unfortunate because I actually really like people. I fucking hate this. I fucking hate when, like, people always assume that I don't like being touched. Because I'm very prickly on the outside and I have resting bitch face. And so they'll kind of like sometimes timidly ask me like, oh, do you want a hug? Or like, you know, they feel kind of weird. And I feel like I don't know what to say. It's like, oh God, now they had to, you know, ask me about it. It's because I'm prickly. And usually the interaction ends up being awkward. It's like, oh. At heart, I feel like I'm somebody who would go up to people and just hug them and just be close to them and want to be close to them. But that's not what I give off on the outside. On the outside, I give off somebody who's very afraid of people. You're a streamer. That's being an extrovert. Oh, okay. Well, that's validating. Thank you, Reflect. Eclectic says, I love to just yap, honestly. Yes, I've discovered that. Since becoming a streamer, I've discovered I love yapping. Well, I'd never had an opportunity to yap before. I really didn't. To yap without abandon. That is something I wish everybody had the opportunity to do. Yap without abandon. And for the first time in my life, I'm able to do that. It's pretty nice, not gonna lie. So everybody should become a streamer. Yap to your heart's content. Yap until there's nothing to yap about anymore. Or become a professional yapper. I have taken a personality test, but interestingly enough, the result is always different. So I personally do not, I'm personally not a personality test believer. But you are an INFJ. Oh, I think at one point I got an INTJ. I got an INTJ, and then I got an INFJ, and then I got an EN something. And at that point I was like, okay. I don't know about this. Like, I think that's what I'm curious about. Do you guys believe in base personalities? I'm not sure if I do. I'm not sure if I believe in base personalities. Or maybe it's that I don't want to believe in base personalities. I don't want to. I want to believe that you can change any element of your personality at any time. And that's what I've always subscribed to. I've always subscribed to the idea that I can change anything. If I'm an introvert at heart, you know what? I'm going to be an extrovert. It might involve forcing myself to do something else, or something uncomfortable. But God damn it, I can change whatever. I don't know. But maybe I do always have a tendency to be one way. Not sure. I'm not sure. The self is a really challenging subject. Understanding yourself, knowing yourself, that is a really challenging thing to do. And sometimes it feels like the more you try and understand yourself, the less you understand. Don probably knows what I'm talking about. Eclectic said, my RBF is so strong. People always tell me how they didn't want to approach me at first. Oh, your resting bitch face. Yeah. Yep. People don't like approaching me either, or they'll see me when I've removed my layers, because I have 10 layers between me and everybody else. There's 10 layers, so maybe they'll catch me at a point when my layers are removed, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't think you were capable of." I didn't think you were capable of emotion. I didn't think you were capable of, social interaction. It surprises people. In a way, it's kind of like playing your cards close to your chest. That's what I'm doing. I'm just playing my cards close to my chest. People don't know my true intentions. Some people might prefer for that to be that way. You're just a big old softy. My face doesn't reflect that in my day-to-day. I don't think anything can specify what we are 100%. We have so many aspects to us and qualities that I don't agree we're only this or that. I'm very eclectic in most things I do, and contradict each other technically. Oh yeah, so actually eclectic, this was interesting. I didn't know what the word eclectic meant until I saw you. And so I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's what that means. It means you like a lot of different things, right? It means you have very diverse tastes. And I think that's how I would just define myself too. Onion_Marissa. Layered like an onion. Yes. Marissas have layers. Marissas have layers just like Shrek. Just like an onion. Dom says, I think self is a fluid thing, akin to an illusion, but still seems to operate within certain bounds, person to person. Right. Kind of an illusion, yeah. It's like the conversation of, there's conversations of nature versus nurture, you know. Are you who you are based on your neurology, your neural connections, or is there something more? And is it based on your neural connections that you were born with? And I think that's been proven to be a myth, because it's been shown that your neural state changes very much over time. And in fact, they just came out with new research that's stating that, because they always said your frontal lobe finishes developing at age 25. And I think they're coming out with new research now that's saying, actually, I think it's 32. And I think pretty soon they might also discover that that was incorrect. I think that, yep, Dom, I don't think we really understand at all. We're discovering more all the time. We're trying our best. Science is good, and science is definitely something that is helpful. But science definitely has limits. And that's something I recently discovered. I used to think science was everything. I used to think that science was the only thing that mattered. Was the only thing that made sense. I don't feel that way anymore. Yes. Diverse taste. 25 doesn't feel like when yeah, me neither, honestly. I still feel very much like I'm developing now at 27. But you grow new neurons all the time. You form new neural connections throughout your entire life. That's not something that ever stops. Neurogenesis. There's plenty of things that can help you generate new neurons. For example, exercise can do it. I think just existing can do it. I know I've heard that mushrooms can do it. Like regular mushrooms even, like reishi mushrooms, lion's mane mushrooms, good for neurogenesis. And that's awesome. We love mushrooms. We love mushrooms on this channel. And that's an aspect of my personality. And that's an aspect of my personality that maybe I'll keep forever. Maybe that is something I'll keep forever. Or maybe it'll be just a phase. Who knows? Maybe I'll transition out of my mushroom phase. It doesn't feel like I will now, but maybe I will. I did transition out of my K-pop enjoying phase. I don't like K-pop. I don't really like K-pop anymore. I think it's kind of, I don't know. I liked watching K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that was a good movie. But I'm not really part of the K-pop scene anymore. I don't know anything about the new bands. But if Big Bang were to come back, my favorite band, if they were to come back, I'd be right there. I'd be buying concert tickets. I would want to be front row. So that's never changed. Dom says, many strange implicit ideas attached to scientific thinking. Namely strict materialism. Seems most psych users eventually give it up but still speak positively about it. Yes. Okay, Dom, I think I know what you're... Let me know if I'm not getting at what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, when I began to use psychedelics, it really opened up a completely new side of thinking that I never even thought was possible. And I've discussed this before, how I've shifted kind of from more logical, rational, hello, Void Thought, welcome. Hello, it's doing well. I'm doing well. I said it's doing well because that was a Freudian slip. I was reading your comment. We're making 100 dumplings and talking about just whatever, the self, philosophy. And so I know that the whole left brain, right thing is a myth, but I still use it as a helpful way of understanding our ways of thinking. Like there's two ways of thinking. I know there's more than two, but whatever. It helps me to generalize. Anyway, I made a huge shift from thinking always logically, analytically. Science is everything. And now I've shifted more towards magic. I would like to find the magic. Where's the magic? But I think you have to be careful about letting the pendulum swing too far. People who tend to go into the spiritual realm tend to let it swing way too far and to just like over-orient themselves to one dimension. Voice asked you why hero dose or microdose? I have never done a hero dose. Yes. And I want to preface that I always, so we do not glorify the use of any substance on this channel. Okay. I use it, so my choice is psilocybin, and I use it as part of my spiritual practice. I don't really use it recreationally, and I typically do what would be considered a microdose, and I use it to help me drop into a meditative state. But I have done higher doses before. The highest I've ever done has been, am I allowed to say? I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I have no idea what I'm allowed to say on here. Not a hero dose for sure, but enough to see some things, you know, to see some stuff going on. Personally, I'm not sure if I am ready for that, like a hero dose. I think that I'm kind of scared of that. I've never had a bad trip before, ever. But I also don't want to bring that on. You know, like, no thanks. I don't know if it's possible for me because I do have a lot of experience. So I think I can kind of see where a bad trip would originate from and what that would be like. and I think I'd be okay. But also, I've never gone through the process of like ego dissolution, complete dissolution. I've gone through partial dissolution where I can feel like my ego is you could say ego, you can say your executive functioning, I like to say a lot of the time. I can still feel my executive functioning a little bit like a whisper in the back of my brain. Because sometimes I'll have a freak out being like, oh no, what am I gonna do tomorrow? Am I gonna be able to make it to my doctor's appointment or whatever? And I start thinking about it. And then my executive functioning is like a whisper in the back of my brain saying, don't worry, I've got it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Right, I remember I still have that. Right, that's gonna come back, and that's great. And we love our executive functioning. We love our ego. Love it. It's essential. It's an essential part of ourselves. Dom says, I think people eventually are just satisfied they got what they want from it. Yes. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard. Well, here's the thing. So I started out, I was doing 2 grams when I was first starting out, because I was really trying to work through a lot of mental illness, depression and anxiety. And I did a lot of research, so you must please do your research. Research intensely, and that's what I did. And I was doing that perhaps once a week. For like 4 times. I did 4 sessions, 4 big sessions. And I did some journaling, I did some intentions. And then after that point, I didn't need to do anything bigger than that. And I haven't needed or wanted to. I've always only done, now these days, it's been I would say, probably more than a year since I've done a big dose. I prefer to just do smaller doses that help me. And I prefer to carry most of the weight. I prefer to take on most of the responsibility of getting myself to the space I want to. It's just, I still need a little bit of extra help. And that's what the psilocybin provides to me. Void Thought said, DMT is like nothing else I have had. I love it, but it's still hard to force myself to do it. When I smell it, I start to feel my ego death start, and it creeps me out. Void, I've literally had that feeling before, actually. Every time before I partake, I've felt that before, actually. There's like this anxiety that arises, and you're like, ooh, it's almost like your body can sense, like, what are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do? Like, wait, oh no, I'm not ready. Yeah, it's crazy. I do feel a little bit of that happening. The anticipation is real. It's like my executive functioning starts to freak out, and it's like, no, I'm not ready to give. I'm not ready to let go. I'm not ready to give it up. But again, I have a lot of experience. I know. I always try to be very careful and very intuitive, and I never take more than what I'm prepared to handle. So, let's see. Let me read my other comments that I missed. The collector said, I'm in the process of finding authentic DMT for my spiritual practice. See, I've never done DMT before, but that seems interesting. I'm kind of scared, honestly. I don't know. That seems to me like one of the more scary, one of the more intense ones, I'll say. I'm a little bit scared, but I hope it works out for you. And it seems like you're doing your research, which is good. Do your research. Do your research. Test your substances. I cannot stress that enough. Do your research. Test. Harm reduction is very important. Look at this. We finished, you guys. We did it. Woo! We did the other 50. This is 50. It's not 50. It's probably like 30. But we did it. So the other 40 are in the freezer right now. Yeah, Dom, like you were saying, eventually I think the ideal is to wane off of it and not need it at all. not need it at all. Eclectic said, I've also been looking into microdosing mushrooms to help with my mental health. Well, I would never want to like encourage anybody to do anything, but I will say for me personally, it has helped a lot. It has been very transformative for my life. I can't guarantee that it will for other people, but it helped me. Mom says there was a year or two I was doing it once a month. Also tried microdosing. Yeah. You would do 150 to 300, whatever the measurement is, and smoke weed. Oh, together. That is interesting. That must have been an interesting experience. Yeah, I've never combined. Avoid said, eventually, after a few years of testing myself, I did hero doses, a few different ones, and found ego death. Wow, that is interesting. What was that experience like for you? But you said ego is an illusion, and that's... I think I agree with you a little bit there. Like, I think our idea of what the ego is an illusion. Yeah. We don't necessarily need it, or we need it. Let me continue to ponder that. Always research. There's a stronger thing for spirituality than. You have 8 test kids. Oh, good. Okay, yes. Testing is very important. 5-MeO takes even less of a dose and is way stronger than any other. Yeah, I've heard about 5-MeO for sure. There's a lot of research being done about 5-MeO. So, Void, have you ever watched the channel? Because there's one specific YouTuber who's a psychonaut, and she really likes 5-MeO DMT. She is. Let's see. I'm looking it up on my phone. Oh, Josie Kins. I would say Josie Kins is pretty cool. I like her channel. She's my favorite psychonaut. But she has done a lot of really cool work with quantifying the psychedelic experience, which is a subjective experience, right? So she has done a lot of personal research. Excuse me, sorry. She's done a lot of personal research. She like has this database of subjective experience that you can experience with various different substances, and there's like trip reports from different community members, and there's yeah, I think it's super fascinating. I forget what the database is called. I think it's the Subjective Effect Index. Here, let me see if I can actually show it on my thing. Let me see if my display capture. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if my display capture works. I don't think my display capture works on this device. Sorry. But anyway, she's cool. She also does YouTube videos of what different doses look like what to expect, like what side effects to expect, what visuals to expect. And she's done a lot of work, and I think that's really good for harm reduction, right? Because people need to know what they're getting into. This is not something you fuck around with. You fuck around and find out. No, don't do that. You need to know. You need to, I always say, like, you need to respect the medicine and it will respect you. Respect the medicine and it will respect you. If you don't respect it, I can't guarantee it'll respect you. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, so Void, you watch a few, but they're all men. Okay, cool. Well, it might be interesting to have a woman's perspective. Well, I don't know if it's any different, but Void, if you have any recommendations for any YouTube channels I can check out, please let me know. Because yeah, I only know about Josie Kins. Void said, having ego deaths pushed me into reading about Buddhism and eventually Advaita Vedanta. I love Advaita Vedanta. You are in the right place, my friend. You're in the right place. Have you seen Swami Taratmanda? Damn it. I think that's what his name is, Swami Taratmanda. He's really cool. He is an Advaita Vedanta monk. And he does some excellent videos on Advaita Vedanta and like explaining it in a way with like a lot of here it is. A lot of visuals, a lot of analogies. Ew, there's a hair. Oh, gross. I'm sorry. That's my hair. Ew, gross. But yeah. Void. So we've got some people on this channel who lean more into Buddhism. So like Dom, for example, Dom rocks. I mean Dharma Dom, I guess, in this space. And then for me, I tend to lean more towards Advaita Vedanta. I tend to lean more into Hinduism. I feel like that resonates more with me. But I'm interested to know your thoughts as well. I feel like learning about Advaita Vedanta, like, especially in terms of how this Swami, or how this, oh, you're into both. Oh, right. You're into both, right? Dom, you just, I guess you just struck me as somebody who leans more towards Buddhism, but it seems like you embrace them both equally, which is cool too. Void said, all those states we achieve on substances are archivable with Zazen and other practices. Oh, cool. I haven't heard of this before. It's like Zen Buddhism. Well, yes. I mean, Void, the state that we're achieving, I would say would be equivalent to the state that monks are achieving when they're meditating. Maybe some monks would argue that it's different, but personally I kind of feel like it's similar. Different people will say different things. Some people will say that using substances doesn't get you the same richness. It's almost like the easy way to get there, but personally I don't know. Because I still think it requires work. It requires mental work and mental fortitude. And you still have to approach it with the right mindset. And so it still requires work. You have to have so many different components, right? You have to have the knowledge component. You have to have the preparation. I mean, this is why there's 8 different limbs in yoga, right? That you have to have like the things you don't do, the things you do, the breathing techniques, the yoga postures, the meditation, all those things to prepare you for meditation. Dom says, I'm better on Buddhism, yeah, and just do Buddhist meditation. Okay, yes. I would say they're functioning through the same mechanics and there are overlaps, but quite different experientially. Okay. Interesting. Because, okay, so Void, for context, Dom has a lot of experience with meditating, just meditating. And I love to pick Dom's brain sometimes about the things that he meditates about, because I think it's really cool. Yeah. I mean, eventually, would I like to be able to meditate unassisted? Absolutely. I'm not there yet, but maybe across the course of my life, I might be able to achieve that. I do it in like little small doses, through my yoga especially, like especially when I go to like hot yoga, for example, when it's led in a class environment, and when there's like one person who reminds us to breathe, and we all are doing it together, you kind of reach a meditative state. So in that aspect, I'm able to achieve a more flow state, but Void said, those substances do not work the same way as they do after meditation and with ritual. Yes. So yes, I think they can be a helpful supplement. That's what I would use. The word I would use is supplement. Maybe not like the main thing, but Collector said, I follow Buddhism as well, and I have a few gurus that I like to follow. I'm working on getting my own personal guru to help guide me. Yeah, I think that would be cool for me too. How does one choose a guru? How does one find a guru? That's a good question. Although I think just with the one I shared, like, I perceive him kind of as my guru, I guess you could call it. Like, I just tend to really understand everything he says, and he says it in a way that makes sense and really resonates with me. Maybe we don't interact directly, but he's been really helpful for me. I like adding multiple practices into my own. Yes, yeah, adding a bit of everything is really good. A little bit of ritual. I love ritual. I've talked about like my Sunday meditations. What I do is I like I'll have some candles. So I'll start out with doing my yoga practice to some music that really helps me get into the space. And then after the yoga practice, I'll do some breathing techniques. And then after that, personally, I require auditory stimulation. I don't like silence. I need auditory stimulation. So I'll actually like be next to a source of running water and kind of provide white noise to kind of help tune it out. I'll have some candles, just because I like candles. And I like being in a very dim environment, a very dark environment with candles. So the flickering just provides really comforting. And there's not too much stimulation, very low stimulation. Void said, Samadhi practice really helped me, but I had to do many others before I could do it. 3 branches of Buddhism have 3 different goals, technically. I need to read more about Buddhism. I need to understand more. Yeah, Dom shared with me he's got a huge collection of really cool books on Buddhism and other stuff, and I need to do some more research and reading. Unfortunately, I'm at a kind of an ebb in my spiritual journey. I've done a lot of flowing, especially this past year, but now I'm ebbing back for now. But then I plan to do another push. For now, I'm comforted. I'm content with where I'm at, but yeah, I definitely want to do more in the future. Okay, I'm going to put these dumplings in the fridge so they don't dry out. They're starting to dry out, and that's not good. And then I'm going to start actually preparing the sauce. So these are going to be pan fried. We're going to be doing a sauce, and we're going to continue yapping. This is a subject I love talking about, so thank you guys, honestly. Okay. We're going to put that in there. We're going to get our onion out. Yeah. I think there might be garlic. I'm not sure. I'm going to get my onion at least. So unfortunately, I have some leftover wrappers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in my composter. I've got a composter, so we won't put them to waste. They're going to be used in my garden. I like to use my composter, and then in the spring and the fall, I'll take all the stuff out of my composter and use it in my garden. So Dom says, let's see. Let me go back. So many comments, I love it. Dom says, right now I just do some breath into trying to notice phenomena rise and cease very quickly. Noticing phenomena is very important. Collector says, I also love burning oil and lighting candles as well during my practice. Yeah, I feel like it's like cultivating the fire, but also the flickering, just something about that. Especially with the wood wick, it provides that extra white noise.
You are this universe.
Oh,
And
thank you for
you
the
are
follow.
creating it at every moment.
You are this universe. That's Alan Watts, by the way. You are this universe, and you are creating it at every moment. Dom says that, and notice the 3 marks. So impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and emptiness. And oh yes, Orange. That was a question for Eclecte, right? Void asks, have I heard of the Headless Way? I have not heard that before. Let me look it up. Headless Way is great. Oh, is that a book? Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. The Headless Way. The Headless Way offers you a practical, user-friendly way to see who you really are. This method was developed by philosopher Douglas Harding. Oh, it's a website too. Interesting. So on r/non-duality is talking about it too. Taught by his student Richard Lang, in which you would simply turn the arrow of attention around 180 degrees back onto what it is looking. Wow. And because of its practical and non-conceptual nature, the approach completely undercuts the mind in its attempt to look this into another practice. This seeing is immediately available. You just have to turn your attention around and look. I wonder if this is similar. Okay, I wonder if this is similar, because sometimes you guys, I'll be sitting somewhere doing something, and I'll notice that my attention is not fully engaged in whatever's going on. And in that moment, when I redirect my attention and I fully focus everything on what is going on, I feel like my senses are heightened. Like suddenly my senses are very heightened, and I feel like I can hear everything more, see everything with more depth. And it's almost like an out-of-body experience in a way. And I do that sometimes. Last time it happened was when I was at my grandma's funeral and somebody was giving a speech, and I was looking at somebody very intently. And it was all about, like, they were talking right, but it was all about like me being in the moment and focusing on that person, and I was seeing them in much more detail than I've ever seen them before. And like, I felt my sense of self kind of dissolving a little bit in a way. And I was fully present. I can't explain to you how I trigger it, but it doesn't trigger spontaneously. Like, the urge to trigger it arises spontaneously, but the actual action of doing it requires some effort on my part. Yeah, Alan Watts. I love Alan Watts. I love Alan Watts. I love him. Yeah, I need to read more of his books. I've only read the book. The book by Alan Watts, but I need to delve. I've also seen a few of his lectures. I love his lectures about. I watched one of his lectures about clothing, which I really liked. About, like, especially Japanese culture, Zen. He's super into Zen, I think. Yeah, really cool guy. Okay. Orange is Googling Alan Watts. Yes, Orange. So Orange, Alan Watts. Orange, if you are into philosophy, Alan Watts is a Western philosopher that explains Eastern philosophy in a way that Westerners can better understand. Unfortunately, I don't know as much about him as I would like to. I need to do some more research, but his ideas are really cool. He's very comforting. Especially if you read like Nietzsche or Camus, or like some of the more darker perspectives. It's a nice breath of fresh air and hope after reading those other ones. Not that they're not important. It's important to read other philosophers in a variety of disciplines, but sometimes you just need a boost of fresh, a dose of hope. Okay. That didn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to, but whatever. This is just supposed to be roughly chopped, a roughly chopped onion. So, because I'm actually going to blend it later, so, for the butter chicken sauce. The oil question was for anyone. Oh, okay. I do not work with oils, but the candles that I have, I've got like an evergreen scented candle, perfect for Christmas time. Yeah. For me, it's not as much about the scents as it is about the lighting, the flickering. But I do enjoy a good scent. As far as candles go, I'm not a huge fan of like the sweet smelling candles. I prefer the like nature smelling candles, like floral scented ones. But if it's like I don't know, like vanilla cake scented one, I'm not a huge fan of that scent personally. But okay, and a unique angle to non-duality, so very valuable. Void said, for me, the best thing to burn, I feel, is San Paulo wood. Yes. Yeah, I do have some incense that I got from China. I'm not really an incense burner, but I got some incense from my mother-in-law. She recommends, she's a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and she recommended it for sleep, because the scent is supposed to help you kind of relax and sleep. So Dom says, even though there are some stories of headless in Zen and Hinduism, there are good instructions and exercises on the technique on YouTube by the dude that's continuing it, Richard Lang. Okay, I enjoy having things in the YouTube format. It's a little bit more digestible. See, because I love reading too. Reading books is good. You should read, but sometimes I need something a little bit more bite-sized. You said the book is quite a short read. Okay. Void says, something you all might appreciate is Haunted Universe, The True Knowing of Enlightenment by Stephen Norquist. Ooh, thank you for the recommendation. Let me, yeah, I will write that down. I'm going to copy and paste this and write it down. Harding actually quotes Zhuangzi. I love Zhuangzi. We went through Zhuangzi on my streams a little while ago. It was nice to meet you, Void. No problem. Yeah, thank you for coming and hanging out with us and talking with us. I love talking about this subject, so feel free to come back anytime. And even if we're talking about something else, feel free to interrupt and change the topic of conversation too. Orange said, sounds useful. I don't know much about Zen or Buddhism. Yeah, I would say it's a good introduction. Yeah. Incense is always burning in your house, Eclecte. Nice. I'm surprised they don't have oils labeled cookie dough and raspberry sparkle to hug the kids while they're young. I mean, if you go to Bath and Body Works, right, they got like Christmas cookie flavor and like different cookie flavors. Okay, we're gonna transition over to my stove. I also have to pee, so I will be right back as we do a little transition. So give me like 3 minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Oh, let me reset my. Luckily, it's dark outside today, so we have we don't have too much backlight interfering with our. By the way, look at this really cool box I got from China. I'm thinking of putting like an LED candle on the inside, and I think it'll provide a really cool effect. I don't know why my camera isn't focusing, but let's see. Focus. Focus. If I hold it down lower, maybe. Anyway, but yeah, so kind of a Taoist count. I like incorporating elements of Buddhism, Taoism. I like exploring a lot of different disciplines and ways of knowing. So eventually I'll learn, I think, what these different lines mean, but I obviously know about the Tao, so we're gonna put that aside. But yeah, I like my little Tao. Okay. I mean, even things such as like traditional Chinese medicine, for example, can be considered a form of spirituality. My mother-in-law, that's her thing. That's her discipline. She like the balancing of different elements in the body, like your spleen, your heart, your lungs, and there's people who go to specifically traditional Chinese medicine doctors in China. They have whole hospitals dedicated to it. But it's interesting because it's like a health practice, but a spiritual practice as well. Like I said, I avoid Bath and Body Works type of candles. They have chemicals and parabens. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. I've heard that soy candles might be a better alternative. Anyway, I tend to have like soy candles or like wax candles. I'm not sure if soy was the one that was the one. Anyway, but yeah. Oh yeah, so you said soy or beeswax candles, right? Or essential oils. Surreal memeism. Wait, what? What's surreal? Reply. What's the surreal memeism? Unfortunately, I don't have any memes for today. I apologize. Okay, so we're doing perhaps like a tablespoon of olive oil and then a tablespoon of butter in our pan. And this is actually supposed to be a vegan recipe, so if you have vegan butter, you can use that because it uses coconut milk instead of cream. So yeah, it can be fully vegan if that's what you choose, but I am not a vegan, so I will be using butter. Yep, I'm just not at that point yet. Maybe one day I'll become a vegetarian, vegan, but I'm not at that point yet. It's pretty common to mix Eastern religions. Yeah, even the Eastern religions do that. I mean, Dom, I was telling you, like, I was in China and we were going to like a Buddhist temple, right? But it had elements of Taoism as well. And then we went to a Taoist temple, and there were a lot of Buddhists there who were praying, because Taoists don't pray, but Buddhists do. Why did they have a temple, you ask? I need to do more research. Yeah, I need to do more research, but they definitely have, many of the places in China have Buddhist, Taoist, and even, I would say like Confucian elements. Although Confucianism isn't really a religion. It kind of is. It kind of isn't. Bloody colonizers hallucinating all these divisions. I mean, yeah. but it's all three of those elements have a huge influence on Chinese culture, and I think they go hand in hand, really. Okay, I'm looking for a spoon. What spoon should I use? Maybe I'll use a rubber spatula. I like having a rubber spatula to mix everything better. I don't have one. Oh wait, my dishwasher. Oh yes, my dishwasher just finished. We're gonna take the yes. Okay, this is the supreme spoon. It's silicone. Butter and spaghetti stream when. I do like making a good. I'll have like spaghetti and butter. I don't have just butter noodles. I usually add Parmesan to that. I'm not content with just butter, but that's my preference. But yeah, I'll have a good butter and Parmesan pasta. Chinese medicine is big for you. Have you done like cupping before or acupuncture? Yeah, my mother-in-law likes to do cupping on me sometimes, for, like different acupuncture. I've had the most interesting acupuncture experience I've ever had was the opening of the 9 gates is what they called it, and basically they put a pin in my head and pins all along my meridian, or like central point, and like on my hands, I think, and my feet. And it was supposed to be actually for mental health. Apparently you can do acupuncture for mental health as well. And what was crazy was, as soon as all those pins were put in, I felt a huge release, and I just like was sobbing and crying. It's like, what is happening? Wait. It was so confusing. I didn't think, I was an acupuncture skeptic. But after that happened, I was like, what? This is wild. So yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna mix these up. We're going to cook them until they're probably like translucent. Let me look up the recipe to see if I need any garlic. I don't think I do, but let me check. It's like a really simple recipe. I'm also going to incorporate the spices in. It's always good to toast your spices as well. So while these are cooking, I'm gonna start measuring out my spices in my bowl. Into like a separate bowl so I can throw them all in at one time. Okay, I'm gonna look up my recipe. Let's see. So the recipe is, if you just Google tofu in Indian sauce, it'll come up. I highly recommend this recipe. So you can make tofu with it. It's fully vegan, but obviously I'm using butter, so it's not. Oh yeah, so okay, so it needs garlic. It also needs ginger, but I personally hate the flavor of ginger, so I'm not adding it. People would be like, oh, that's not Indian food. I'm like, sorry, unfortunately, I just hate it. I don't like ginger. It's like got a sour flavor. You veered away from acupuncture because I faint in the sight of pointy objects. Oh, that's fair. Ew, what the fuck? Ew, okay, never mind, we're throwing this one away. Ew, what the fuck? Oh my god, okay. I don't even know. Ooh. Should I tell you guys what happened? I opened the garlic and there were a bunch of bugs in there. I've never had that happen before. Ew. What the fuck? That was disgusting. No, they were dead, luckily. They were dead, but holy shit, that was cursed. Cursed garlic. Luckily, I've got a spare. Oh. Okay. Oh my god. I'm activating the disgust. Because that was... I don't even know. That really bothered me. It's like trypophobia, you know? It's just like one of those things. Here's another one that's like a rotten one. Fuck, what happened to the garlic? Dom, as we discussed before, disgust is a very important emotion that we need to experience. Don't shy away from it. Although, it really tests me sometimes. I really feel tested sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna turn this a little bit down. I have a hard time with that. Don't keep garlic in your refrigerator. I know, it's gonna sprout. I know. I just like to. I'm sorry. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. Yeah, you're supposed to keep it out at room temperature. I know. Surprise! We invited the bugs to the chat. No, they were dead, so you can't do that. They were dead, luckily. If they were crawling out, that would have been even worse. Does your skin ever crawl when that happens? My skin starts to crawl. Really bad. My skin's crawling right now. Oh. Yep, you're banned. Banned. Mods, ban him. Oh wait, I don't have any mods. So I guess I can't. Okay, I've got 3 giant cloves of garlic that I'm gonna add. Let me wash off my hands, because we're sensory nightmare. Sensory nightmare. Okay. Just gonna stir my onions. The mods are asleep. Let's riot. Oh. Orange says, imagine the party guests finding that in the sauce and asking, what are these chewy bits? No, that's so cursed. Fuck. No. This is why you pay attention before adding stuff. Oh my god. I know that there's little, okay. So with the spices and with flour and everything, I think there's actually like a government, like an FDA regulated amount of ground up bugs that are allowed to be added. And we do eat ground up bugs all the time. Think we don't? No, we definitely do. There's literally because my aunt makes soup mixes as her business, so she knows about the regulations, and yeah, she's told me about that. She's like, there's a specific amount of bugs that are allowed to be in your food without any problems. And now you're gonna remember that for the rest of your life. You're welcome. Okay, we're adding the garlic now. We don't want to cook the garlic for too long because it will burn. So I just like using a garlic press. Hand strength. Okay, here's the last one. Yeah. Got it. And then after that, I'm gonna add the spice. I'm gonna take this off the heat and then add all the spices, and then toast it together. Actually, you know what? We're gonna take it off the heat now, and then we're gonna add the spices. Muscle mommy confirmed. Yeah, strong. Save this time. The click day was hoping you'd be banned. Brief life. Just kidding. A bug lover weeping at the disgust redemption. I know. Hey, I've told you guys about my journey with bugs, right? We're trying to be more. We're not going full Janist, but we're trying not to kill bugs in our house. I'm trying not to do that. So, imagine being a bug living in a piece of garlic. Your whole existence is just garlic. No, right? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Garlic, yummy. That's probably what the bug be thinking. Garlic, yummy. I thought garlic was like an like things don't like garlic. I know that garlic in your garden, some bugs don't like garlic, but I guess these ones do. Well, frick. Okay. I'm gonna throw these in my composter. I'll be right back. And then we're gonna get the spices out. I keep my composter in the same room that the litter box is in, so we got all the waste in one room. It doesn't actually smell or anything. I mean, it does if you open the lid, obviously, but it doesn't smell outside of the lid. If the lid is closed, it's a really good composter. I'll have to look up the name of it and share it. But anyway, the bugs are probably living a more peaceful life than ours. True. Surrounded by garlic and filling yourself with garlic over and over and over. Right. Yeah, that's a wild concept. Okay, so we need our teaspoon. We've got all our seasonings. We got our cumin, we got our coriander. Now, this is the thing that's very important we get right. We need to get this right. The spice ratio. Okay. Oh crap, I'm out of turmeric. Fuck. As soon as I say, we need to get the spice ratio right, I'm like, oh, I don't have all the spices required. Shit. That's okay. 1 teaspoon garam masala. So I do heaping teaspoons. So we'll just do it in there. 1 teaspoon of coriander. Going in. There we go. You only want to be precise when you're baking. Sorry, did that suppress the noise at all? When I cover the mic with my hand, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. We're gonna add, it calls for 1/4 a teaspoon. I think I'm gonna add closer to 1/2 of chili powder. This is Kashmiri chili powder. Oh no, the air, why is the air so spicy? I thought I was coughing. It's because the air is so spicy. Literally. Okay. Now the cumin. Oh, fuck. Spilled it. Cumin. 1/2 teaspoon of curry powder. Oh, hello. This username not exist. Welcome. In making 100 dumplings, we confront the paradox of creation. This is awesome. Each dumpling symbolizes intent, yet questions purpose. As we fold, are we creating sustenance or merely filling the void? In this repetitive act, we find fleeting connection amid the absurdity of existence. You know, username, we must imagine the dumpling creator happy. We must imagine the dumpling folder happy. Just as we must imagine Sisyphus to be happy. I'm so sorry if you have ads, by the way. I really hope you don't have ads right now. That would be tragic, especially after sharing that absolute poetry with us all. Dumplings don't exist. That's your mistake. No, the dumplings don't exist. Nothing exists. Nothing exists. Merely filling the void. Repetitive act. Yes. Well, sometimes when I do repetitive tasks, so like a year ago, I would say when I was really deep in my depression, I would start to see household tasks as being, I genuinely felt like Sisyphus. I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing the dishes if they're just gonna get dirty again? Why am I cleaning the cabinets when they're just gonna get dirty again tomorrow? Like, this is meaningless. I've definitely been there. When you're like, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's all just gonna end up being nothing in the end. And I think the key is to enjoy the task, to enjoy the journey, enjoy the experience of doing it. of creating order. Maybe we're creating order in the universe, maybe we're not. But if we can at least enjoy the process, whatever that looks like, that's something, right? Eat a dumpling and tell me that dumpling exists. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess that's one way to verify. Yeah, I'll give you guys the dumplings afterwards and you can tell me. So now we're gonna toast all the spices. So we're toasting them until they're like fragrant. I had it off the heat for a while, so we gotta let it heat up again. I'm gonna wait till it starts to sizzle. But thank you for sharing your wisdom, this username. We love talking about. So this is more of a, I would say, a Alan Watts spirituality leaning channel, but we also enjoy talking about academic philosophy as well. But mostly it's about talking about deep topics. So if you have any deep topic you would like to discuss, and of course you already did, so you already know what you're supposed to do. Toasting time. The mindset shift of I have dirty dishes because I had a nourishing meal. Yeah, okay, yes, perspective. It's just like that meme I was sharing where, you know, that meme with the guy on the train. There's one of them looking out at a beautiful sunset, and there's one of them looking at like an ugly wall. And the two contrasts were me up at 4 a.m. staring at the ceiling, and the other one was me up at 4 a.m. staring at the ceiling. It's all about your perspective. It's about how you're feeling when you're doing it. Yep, and that's helped me shift my perspective, because previously I used to hate cleaning things, getting things dirty. But since then I've grown to kind of, I've wanted to embrace the whole process of getting things dirty and then having them be clean again. Appreciating the contrast, especially like when it comes to the seasons. I used to dread winter because I would think that it always brings seasonal depression. But now that I'm reframing it, I'm gaslighting myself. No, you don't have seasonal depression. You're hibernating. You're resting. It's the time for rest. It's the time for recuperation. But I embrace it as a phase of my life because I know that winter brings less energy and less willingness to engage and more of a time of withdrawal into myself and into my house. I feel like a bear. I walk around with a blanket most of the time, huddled over, and I eat a lot more. But I know that spring is going to come. Spring will come and so will summer, and my time of being restored in energy is going to come back, and it's all part of it. Enjoy all the parts, even the lows. Enjoy the lows, appreciate the lows because you know that they allow you to experience the highs even better. Okay, so this has been toasted. Nice. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the blender. I wonder if I should toast my tomato paste. I could. Actually, you know what? I saw something about somebody toasting tomato paste. So I'm going to do it. This is not enough tomato paste. Please hold. I've got like 2 things of tomato. Yeah, here. Tomato paste is right here. We're going to keep this for later. We're going to add all the tomato paste and then doesn't that make it feel like a trade, asks Orange. Can I ask what you mean by that? It's feeling like a trade. So we need 3 ounces. So squirt now our tomato paste. This is a 4.5 ounce. So I'm using 3/4 of it, roughly. If you have more tomato paste, you have more. Like it's okay if you have more. Okay. We're gonna just toast it with like the residual heat. We're not gonna like turn the stove back on or anything. And then if I end up needing to add more, I'll add more. I like to just add it based on my taste. Trades and trade-offs. Yeah, again, I think I need to ask a clarifying question on that to understand what you mean. Trading one thing for another. Okay. I added ice cubes to my tea, by the way. I added ice cubes to my tea, so now it's the correct temperature. I refuse to drink tea that's gonna scald my throat. Fuck. I say as I spill it all over. Okay. It's still a little bit hot, actually. And now it's making my stove freak out. It's like, what is this hot liquid on my face? I'm sorry, stove. I spilled a hot liquid on your face. That was very rude of me. That was so rude. Okay, I'm getting the blender out so we can blend everything together. So we're gonna blend it with a can of coconut milk. So we're getting our can opener out. Okay, Orange said, thank you for clarifying, Orange. Dirty laundry because I had something to wear. I will choose to suffer washing in exchange for happiness of looking clean and awesome. Choosing. Yeah, well, I think when we were talking about perspective and mindset shifts, I think that's a choice. There's a choice you have to make. You have to choose the way you look at something. It has to be an active decision. Look at me, I opened the can the right way. Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna just pour it in here. Ooh, it's gonna spill. Actually, I'm gonna pour it in here because well, we're gonna pour it in both. Oh yeah, that looks awesome. Usually there's like a solid bit at the top, but we lucked out this time. I'll show you on the camera here. Camera shift there to my blender. I also want to be careful about not having the plastic on the hot cooked stove. Okay, this is gonna splash, isn't it? We're gonna be very careful. We're gonna add it spoonful by spoonful, so it doesn't splash. And also, Toby is wanting to join the party. Do you want some spicy? You want some spicy curry? Come. Oh, she wants the coconut milk. She's licking the coconut milk out of the container. I think coconut's safe for cats, right? I think so. Hopefully. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I scooped it all out. I'm gonna transition this over to my blender. It's more of a mindset shift rather than a trade. We have no choice but to do laundry or clean or cook. So it's a choice out of necessity. So changing the perspective we have on it is what makes it feel less of a chore or a task, and a bit more like a choice for me anyway. I think I agree with your perspective. No, it's Orange. We weren't perceiving. I wasn't perceiving it that way. I'm glad you asked the question. I think it's very important to ask questions like that and explore things deeper in the rabbit hole, because it makes us think about why we do things. And yeah, so you are a true philosopher, Orange. Just like in the book Sophie's World, that's what they say. A true philosopher is somebody who wonders. That's all it takes. Okay. So, now I'm going to... Well, I had white paint to it. Girl. Does that look like white paint to you? I'm just kidding. Yeah, it does look like white paint, doesn't it? Okay, we're gonna blend it over here on the other side because that's where my outlet is. Pray for me. Pray that it doesn't explode everywhere. Pray that it doesn't explode out and hit me in the face because it's done that before. Yeah, I hate blenders. Blenders are terrifying. Blenders are scary. I'm gonna mute my mic and I'll be right back. We did it! Okay, look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, no, there's still okay. There's still some pieces of onion, which, that's a sensory nightmare. No thanks. I'm gonna blend them again. Actually, what I could do is put it through a strainer. Then I would just avoid it altogether. By the way, this is not Indian. This is a fusion dish. Explosion-free blending! I know! It didn't explode. It has in the past. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Look at that beautiful color. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna change it back to my setup. Okay, so we're gonna pour it back in. And depending on the flavor and the color, I might add more tomato paste. We'll see. It's all done to taste. And now we're just gonna bring it up to a boil and kind of boil it for a bit. Or like let it simmer for a bit, because with tomatoes, they've got, I forget what they're called, but like some compounds that are only released when they're cooked. Which you wanna activate that? I don't know what the word is, but you wanna get those out there. I wanna get the compounds. I'm gonna clean up my pan a little bit so it's like not all messy and gross. We're just gonna go like that. Just gonna go like that. Okay. There, just like that. I think if I put my camera here, it'll be fine. There. Lycopenes, yes. Exactly. That's what it is. Lycopene. Small amounts won't hurt my cat. Oh, that's good. My mom exploded a can of condensed milk once. At least half of the kitchen ceiling was caramelized. Oh God, that sounds very dramatic. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm turning it on. And so it's gonna cook for a bit. And as it cooks, it's gonna reduce. It's gonna reduce in like color. The color's gonna get a little bit redder, but also I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the tomato paste. Let me taste it first. Yep, I've added all the ingredients except for salt. Again, salt to taste. Yep, that needs salt. It also needs more tomato paste. Yes, there is turmeric. It's in the curry powder. So I just added curry powder, which has a bunch of... Curry powder has coriander, turmeric, mustard, cumin, fenugreek, paprika, cayenne, cardamom, nutmeg, cinnamon and cloves. So a lot of different stuff. Sometimes I use curry powder. Sometimes I use the individual ingredients. Did you see me spill that everywhere? The kitchen is an absolute, when I tell you my kitchen right now is an absolute disaster. If any of you guys do cooking streams, holy shit. They do require a lot of bandwidth. They're fun, but okay, we're gonna taste it again. We're gonna use a new spoon. Okay. Oh wait, I wanted to add, before I taste it, I'm gonna add more tomato paste. We're using a new spoon so we do not contaminate our guests. Yes. No cross-contamination here. You try to keep one area during your cooking streams. Yeah, I'm lucky that I like having, so I've got like one big kitchen island, and so I keep everything on the kitchen island, and then I rotate throughout. I like using a big amount of space when I cook, but I do create an absolute disaster. I would like to clean as I go, and I think I do that normally, but when I'm streaming, I don't. I'm gonna get a whisk to whisk that in, because that's gonna be lumpy if I don't. I've got my whisk that I got from Hong Kong Disneyland. It's my pink whisk. Yeah, see, it's breaking it up. It wouldn't have been stirred in if I didn't whisk it. Cooking off stream is a mess because I'm more careless. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Now we're gonna taste it again. My husband's gonna come home and find an absolute disaster waiting for him. Okay. Here we go. Here, you wanna taste it? Oh, that's good. Oh shit, it's gonna explode. Wait, I'm turning down the temperature right now. Oh, that's good. So all it needs to do now is reduce. So it started boiling. So we're gonna put the lid on. And I'm just gonna turn down the temperature so it doesn't explode everywhere. It's like that one place in Yellowstone where it's the really thick liquid bubbling. Orange says, I'm terribly messy. I can happily consume all the available area, but will tidy every hour of doing big cook-ups. Anyways, so for those who missed out on the dumplings, I'll show you what they look like. I will be pan frying these. So, unfortunately, I think that I don't have the bandwidth to stream the pan frying process. I gotta get ready to go to the party, and I wanna, I gotta lock in. So I'm sorry you're gonna miss that process, but here's the finished dumplings. They'll be like this color, except shiny. And then the sauce, and we did it. We did it, everyone. I think I'm gonna end pretty soon, actually, but thank you guys all for being here. And it was such a great conversation we had. But yeah, okay. Well, I hope everyone has a great weekend. And, oh, thank you. Yeah, joy. I hope you experienced a lot of joy this weekend. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Yes, everyone, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Orange, for being here. Thank you, Eclecte. Okay, bye. See you. Bye.